So here's the big question on everyone's mind. Could a robot, like a real humanoid robot, actually be folding your laundry by 2030? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But that's the multi-billion-dollar promise behind Tesla's Optimus. So let's dig in and figure out if this sci-fi dream is about to become our reality.
Okay, so to really get where this is all heading, you have to look at how far it's come and just how fast. I mean, think about it. Back in 2021, the big reveal was, well, it was a dancer in a robot suit. No joke. A lot of people laughed it off. But fast forward to today, we're seeing an actual robot, a real one, folding a shirt. That jump from a guy in a suit to a machine doing laundry, that's the whole story right there. It's incredible.
So how in the world did Optimus go from being, let's be honest, a bit of a joke, to a serious worker on Tesla's own factory floor? Let's trace that wild journey. I mean, just look at this timeline. The acceleration is nuts. 2021, it's literally just a concept, a guy in a suit. A year later, 2022, we get a prototype that, kind of shuffles around, clunky. But then, boom, it just explodes. Late 2023, Gen 2 is handling delicate eggs and folding shirts. By 2024, it's already working in the factory sorting battery cells. And now we're talking about Gen 3 with even better AI being deployed. The pace it's just relentless.
And you better believe people noticed. Those demos went absolutely viral. You know the ones, the robot handling an egg so gently, or folding that t-shirt. All of a sudden, the whole conversation changed. What everyone dismissed as just a silly gimmick was now front and center in a huge global debate. People started asking, wait a second, could this thing actually change everything about work? The buzz was just, you couldn't ignore it.
Okay, but let's pump the brakes for a second. Going from a predictable, controlled factory floor to the beautiful chaos of your home, that is a massive leap. It's not as simple as it sounds. There are some really big hurdles they've got to clear first.
So, you might be thinking, okay, this is cool, but what's stopping this robot from being in my kitchen right now? It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer is, well, it's super complex. There are some major roadblocks standing in the way. Yeah, and it's not just one little problem, it's a whole stack of them. For starters, the hands need to be way more nimble, more human-like, without overheating. The AI, navigating a factory is one thing. Navigating your messy living room with toys on the floor and a dog running around, that's a whole different universe of difficulty. Then you've got battery life. It has to last all day, right? And after all that, you get to the two biggest mountains they have to climb, making it affordable, and then figuring out how to actually mass produce millions of these things.
Let's talk money. Right now, the best guess is that a single Optimus robot would cost upwards of $20,000. And that's probably a lowball estimate for the first ones. We're talking the price of a brand new car, not, a fancy new coffee maker.
So for this to ever be in your house, that price has to plummet. It needs to be less than half of that. The target is under 10 grand. And to get there, wow, that requires a revolution in manufacturing. We're talking a level of efficiency and scale that, honestly, we've never seen before in the world of robotics. It's a huge challenge. And of course, we have to talk about Elon time. If you followed any of his projects, you know what this is. He sets these incredibly ambitious, almost impossible deadlines. And hey, it creates this intense pressure that leads to amazing innovation. But they also have a tendency to stretch out a bit, or a lot, as the real-world problems pop up. We've seen it happen before, so it's probably smart to keep that in mind when we're talking about a firm 2030 deadline.
Okay, but let's just dream for a second. Let's say they pull it off. They solve all these massive problems. What would your day-to-day life actually look like with a robot co-pilot in your house? Let's take a little glimpse into that future.
Right now, your smart home is kind of dumb, isn't it? You've got a Roomba that bumps into walls to clean the floor and Alexa that can tell you the weather. They're all separate little gadgets that can't really do anything in the physical world. Optimus is the game changer. It's one single thing that can see, move around, and actually pick stuff up and interact with its environment. It connects all those dots.
So picture this. You finish your morning coffee, leave the kitchen. The robot notices you're gone. It walks in and just starts working. It wipes down the countertops, sweeps the floor, and then grabs the trash bag and takes it out. See? It's not just one single task. It's a whole routine, a sequence of chores, all done on its own. That's the big leap we're talking about. And it goes way beyond just doing the dishes. The potential here is huge and really practical. Think about elder care, a robot that can fetch medication, give reminders, or even detect if someone has fallen. That's life-changing. Or what about home security?
a robot that can physically patrol your house at night. This isn't just about making life easier, this is about providing real, meaningful help and genuine peace of mind.
But, and this is a big but, with all of this incredible potential comes a whole wave of really deep, really important questions. We have to be honest with ourselves. This kind of technology won't just change how we do laundry. It's going to change our entire world, and we have to start thinking about what that means.
Yeah, it's like a two-sided coin for sure. On one side, you have the promise. The economy could get a huge boost. But the flip side is that millions of people in warehouses and retail could lose their jobs. You get the promise of safety with a robot monitoring your home, but the peril is constant surveillance and the risk of being hacked. More free time sounds great, right? But what if that leads to us becoming totally over-reliant, losing basic skills? It's a real balancing act. And this is where it gets really serious. This stops being about a cool gadget and starts being about national security. Just think about this quote for a second. Would the United States be comfortable with Chinese humanoid robots patrolling everyone's homes? Probably not. Exactly. Suddenly, the question of who builds these robots and who controls their software becomes a massive geopolitical chess match.
Okay, so all of this brings us right back to where we started. We've seen the mind-blowing progress, but we've also seen the monumental challenges. So, what's the final verdict? Are we really going to see Optimus in our homes by 2030? Well, let's look at the numbers because they don't lie. The goal for 2025 was to produce thousands of these robots. The reality? They're making them in the low hundreds. That right there shows you the number one biggest problem, manufacturing at scale. They have to close that enormous gap between the goal and what's actually happening on the factory floor. That's the only way they can even hope to hit a 2030 timeline. But, whether it actually happens in 2030 or maybe it's 2035, we can't lose sight of just how huge the long-term vision is here. This was never just about a robot to fold your laundry. The ultimate goal, the big dream, is for there to be billions of these robots, enough to completely change the nature of labor on Earth, add trillions to the economy, and even send them to be the first explorers on Mars. I mean, the scale of that ambition is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around. So look, 2030, it still feels pretty ambitious, for sure. But the pace of development is just too fast to bet against it completely. A future with humanoid robots is coming. It's not a matter of if, just when, whether it's in this decade or the next. And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. The question isn't really, when are they going to get here? The real question is, are we ready for them when they do?